Well, the president had his first media encounter, and it looks like this is coming with some sort of mixed reactions, you know.
Let me remove my space.
Hey, well, some Ghanaians believe that the president...
Because they're about to insult it.
The president is on top of issues, and he has a very good knowledge of almost every sector of the economy. But there are other people who are of the opinion that, look, this president, his answers, especially to say Galamsey, were not good enough. And for you, what would you make of his general performance in this encounter?
Let's clap for him. He has done well. He has done well.
Why do I sense some sarcasm in this?
No. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, from me to President Mahama, you've done well.
Wow.
At least this is something we've not seen in a long time. So availing yourself. We've seen some before. Don't just do 9-day wonder. Don't do one and stop. Keep it up. We want to know what is happening. We want to understand that you are on top of issues. So kudos to him for the event. Generally, I think it was a good one.
Okay.
For the first time, I think our journalists went straight to the questions and they asked some of the intelligent questions I can ever imagine any journalist will ask a president. And I like the fact that they were polite about it. They were very straight to the point. There was no question.
But there are some people who are saying that even moderation and selection, there was some level of biasness in that, and that it wasn't really properly done in its fairness, complete fairness.
It was to be expected. You know, this modus operandi, or how we actually do these media encounters, I have my reservations about it. The whole raise up your hand and let's call you, and Charlie, if I'm sitting at the back or I'm sitting somewhere and you are physically challenged in terms of height, it's going to affect you like a lot of things. I'm sorry, but that's just by the way. But I'm just saying that the whole raise your hand and let's call you, and you could clearly tell that the moderator is looking out for familiar faces to ask questions. That's not nice. We could even do row or column by column. We are picking 3 from here. We are picking 4 from here every time. But this random CCC.
Talking about questions, a number of questions were asked.
Yes.
But for you, which questions stood out for you? You know?
For me, interestingly, the lady nearly lost the opportunity of asking, but for the president's intervention, the very last question was actually my number 1 question of the evening.
Which is?
The rent issues and housing deficit in Ghana.
Okay.
As a youth, myself, personally, I've connected with that question.
Right.
We have rent laws in Ghana and we are not implementing them. Unfortunately, I didn't like President Mahama's response because it's almost as if the tenant and the landlord will connive and do it anyway. Mr. President, that's why you are the president. Let the agencies work. Rent control shouldn't only be mediation institution. No, they should implement it. Today, tell me which graduates fresh from school earning 3,000, 2,005, 3,500 can afford a decent accommodation.
Even the amount you are mentioning, do you think you can get fresh graduates coming out of school and then, earning such things?
The research must
speak about.
Exactly. The research must actually reach that arena. That's like number 1 for me. And to think that she nearly lost that opportunity to ask. Number 2 was Sadiq Obama's question on tribalism and ethnocentric comments that is becoming the order of the day. So the whole Obake, Akwaba, the whole Boko is brewing. It's coming. It's snowballing slowly. If we don't curb it early, it will become something we can't stand. So that tribalism, and especially this creation of a lot of ethnic group and tribal groups on social media, that I think the president was very straight and very okay in his mind that they were going to go after people using their IP addresses and all of that. That's brilliant, because we can't live in a country where tribalism is the order of the day. I think the last question, I noted it here quickly. Let me just... For me, the last one was on the plea bargain and some NDC lawyers trying to cut deals. Again, the president flopped. He didn't answer that question to my... Well, we'll come to the ones I didn't like, but that was a good question about... I think Alfredo Kansi of TVT asked about the General Secretary of NDC, Fifi Kwete, saying that some NDC lawyers are cutting deals with former appointees so that they can have their way. They just bring small amounts and then keep the rest through something they call plea bargaining. But it's rubbish for me. Sorry.
Well, for me, I like the fact that the president was able to avail himself. It only shows that this is a leader who is accountable to his people, and it also, you know, gives some breath of fresh air when it comes to democracy. And for me, what I just didn't like is...
So we are going to the didn't like.
Yes, now the didn't like. What really I didn't like is the issue of the GIPC laws, you know, and this law is there to protect local businesses. You get it? And for me, what I took from his answer is that, look, it's just a matter of enforcing the laws. It's a matter of enforcing the laws. But it shouldn't end there, because, look, Ghana, you can find one of the best laws in the world. Like, we have some of the best laws that have been passed, but our only problem is enforcing them. Look, almost every problem we are facing here in this country has its laws and regulations to tackle them. But then, because that culture of enforcement is lacking, so nothing is being done, as if we do not have laws in this country. And that is what worries me, because I am saying this because now, if you go to countries like Tanzania, there are some businesses that are prepared down or earmarked for local businesses. If you go to Tanzania, foreigners are not allowed to be tailors. Foreigners are not allowed to be tour guides. Foreigners are not allowed to own saloons, barbering shops, and all of that, because locals must be protected. And for me, I felt that if the president had taking a strong stance, it would send a signal so that it just doesn't become enforcement issue, but rather an issue of the president taking a personal interest to this. So that adds a more weight. If you ask me, it adds more weight. So for you, which of the questions really didn't do it for you?
I actually agree with you. And to add that, I think the question was also about foreign companies or nationals. We are actually scrapping the minimum capital requirements, which is going to hurt the local people, because that minimum capital requirement actually becomes that barrier between a foreign person and then a local person, just so that we can be able to trade more easily, because the foreign people, they have money. When we come in and inject the money, we stand no chance. So I actually agree with you. For me, yesterday, I have to be very, very serious here. Mr. President, I am not here to advise you in any shape or form, but I think that there are times that your jovial nature downplays a lot of the serious issues we have in this country. Why? I felt that he trivialized some of the questions, especially the Galamsey question, the plea bargaining question, and Ghanaians becoming quote and unquote refugees in other African countries, I think Cote d'Ivoire. First and foremost, this is not the tone the then presidential candidate John Mahama spoke to us when he said he'll fight Galamsey. You stood on campaign platforms and you called out former President Akufo-Addo that declared state of emergency. It can be done. UTAG went on strike because of this. And today, you are telling us that there are lots more you can do before you declare state of emergency.
But to be fair to him, declaring a state of emergency is a tool he can use. Mm-hmm. But then, I want to see, do I have other tools I can use before I use the extreme one or the one that looks like the last resort? And he is saying that there are other tools I can use to fight this I haven't exhausted yet. But if it comes to be that I have exhausted all these tools and we are still faced with this menace, then I would return to my last resort, which is declaring a state of emergency.
Oh, he only realized this when he became president for the second time?
Oh, but you know,
Galamsey was very prevalent in his John Mahama one administration. What are you telling me? That he didn't know that there were other options and he was mounting pressure on the then President Akufo-Addo to declare state of emergency. Do it now. You have the power. Do it now.
Kingsley.
It is beginning to look like when you are in opposition, you talk differently from when you taste power. When you were in opposition, you told Akufo-Addo that he can do it. So why are you running away from your own words? Then it's telling me that he didn't think through the thing.
He's not running away.
He is.
He's only saying it's a last resort.
But he knew there were other resorts. Was Akufo-Addo sleeping or he was also using the other things he thought could help fight Galamsey, and he kept insisting that Akufo-Addo should declare state of emergency?
But in Akufo-Addo time, we didn't see Blue Water Guard. We didn't see all we saw was military men who went there, stayed in so long that they became compromised.
You told us that
compromised the whole mission.
This is the best way to fight Galamsey. He told us. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this to falsify anything.
So what you are trying to do is compare or make the point.
I am saying that before you come and tell us anything, for example, 24-hour economy. Yeah. You promised that. I am thinking that you will think through this policy before you come and announce it. When you have a platform as an opposition leader and you were talking about ways we can fight Galamsey, what research went into it before you started calling out the former president to call state of the emergency? You away from the Galamsey thing. That was a terrible response he could have given this Galamsey fight, because the fiery Mahama we saw on the campaign trail is beginning to look like we don't have hope. And I agree with all those who say that, see, this Galamsey fight thing, if it's going to be a matter of Ghanaians deciding on who will vote for, then it means that NDC is in trouble. That aside, I am also not sure that this president, John Dramani Mahama, is ready to fight corruption. No.
How can you say that?
No.
How can you say that?
No.
Wait, are you making this argument because of Ora?
Yes. And his response to the plea bargaining question. Masa, if you steal yam and you're able to provide the yam, then we should leave you. Why are we making it look like this plea bargaining thing is going to favor some class of people where you steal from the state and we are able to retrieve? And his justification is that the school of thought that says you arrest the person, you imprison him, and you buy food for him. When he's sick, you take him to that is the punishment. If it is for you to retrieve monies from people, then it means this government administration and its appointee, some are going to steal with the hope that we will just take the money and let them go.
So
is that the promise they gave us for oral?
But even in your presentation, do you get the sense that they are not chasing after corruption?
We don't care about chasing. Corruption must be seen to be dealt with when you catch the people and they even retrieve the money. Still incarcerate them. Punish them some way, somehow, just like the law says. Don't tell me that you retrieve, if it's better to retrieve the money. Is that the promise they gave us for oral? When Okujeto Ablakwa, Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs and the rest, Martin Pebu and those people, is that what they told us? Would you have voted for John Dramani Mahama when he said, I'm going to retrieve money and that will be all? Would you have voted for him?
No, we would. The promise is to jail them as well, prosecute them as well.
So why are you dilly-dallying with some of the things you said in opposition, Mr. President? Your tone has actually reduced.
No,
you were just downplaying. Look at the CJ removal question. Look at me. Do you think I'm a supreme leader? The question was specific. Should we be worried? Your party people are saying that EC and its leadership are next. Should we be worried? And you say Yeah, look at me. Do I look like a supreme leader? Nobody walks around with supreme leader on their
hold on.
forehead.
If you ask a question and I answer you like that, wouldn't you understand it as someone who is telling you not to be worried?
Are you hatching the idea of removing the EC people or not? Because we are working with checks and balances, and now the question says it's seemingly looking like the executive is above all the other arms of government. Should we be worried?
But Casey, why are you making your presentation as though even if he agreed that he was going to remove an EC chairperson, he can do it without the law?
You and I know that the law as we have it, the constitution as we have it, gives the president absolute power. He can do anything today if he decides to go through the due process.
Yes, so what I'm saying is that even if it is the case that the president is hatching the idea to remove the EC chair, I mean, it's not something he can do unilaterally or do it without the laws guiding him.
He would do it.
So as long as he meets the laws and the constitutions of this country, why should we hold him foul?
We are saying that reassure us as the head of executive, as the president of this country, that our democracy is not under threat. Because CJ is gone, you never know who will be next. And we sat here, we condemned the Kufuor for removing Charlotte Osei. Now you see there's a precedent. Now CJ is gone. And guess what? Nobody will dare remove a president if only he has majority in this parliament. Because you can't impeach him.
Yeah,
you can't.
They don't have the numbers now.
Exactly. So already the other arms of government, they are already weakened. They are already on the lower side of things.
The president's answer should be reassuring.
No, it's not. He actually told a joke and he made light of the situation. Another one. The Biduri, the northern Binyiri, sorry.
The Binyiri conflict.
The Binyiri conflict. I don't also like the way he spoke about it. It was not reassuring. Again, this same small conflict up north, when he was opposition leader, the way he spoke about some of these things, tell us, are you encountering challenges? Did you encounter something you didn't think was existing because when you came, you realized that, oh, it's not what I thought it was. Just be open with us. Because when you are in opposition, you tell us all the right things and all the solutions to our problems. And then when you give you the power, we ask you a question and you are going round in circles.
Well, you see, if you just put it in simple terms like that, Kingsley, you need to understand that sometimes what we see outside the field of play is different when you enter the field of play. You get it? You see, you could
checkmate.
No, you could be outside and see the simplicity of it, but once you get into it, you realize that there are so many moving parts. And he makes the point that in our quest to adhere to processes, fairness, and
when he told former President Kufuor that if you have never been president before, don't criticize me. Didn't we all say that was not a statement he should have made? You have been president before, so everything happening today, you know, you've encountered some before.
And I'm saying what has changed is a lot of moving parts are at play now. You are taking over a government where the former government has been in power for 8 years. And people have solidified their places in this government and have had influences and have people who actually they work with as, for lack of better word, cohort. Now you come into this field, now you have to deal with all these players because these players have been there before you are coming. You are the new player. So there are so many moving parts. Whoever has solidified his place would not just allow you because you just came in 8 months to come and then overtake or what I have so much worked for to solidify to come and undo that. So in that case, there will be some form of resistance. And he is saying that in the quest for the government to follow due process and not violate the laws of this country, that is why some of these perpetrators feel that, okay, they have a temporary relief. But he has assured you that they would not have a permanent relief. What does it mean? It means that they will surely go after them. I mean, that is why I'm saying that sometimes if you are outside the field of play, you will see its simplicity. But once you get into the field of play, you realize that there are so many moving parts.
So he deceived us.
How did he deceive you?
So he was on the field of play. So he told us things he saw from the spectators' view, and now he's on the field of play and he's confronted with reality, and he's not being honest to tell us that, hey, I didn't think it was this deep. All I'll say is Nipa a cobra.
Oh, so if he tells you that Galamsey is not an event and that it is a process, is that not being truthful?
I am saying that I am talking to a personality who said, Nana de Dankwa, declare state of emergency now. Unless you are telling me that, with all due respect, the president did not think through his declare state of emergency now.
Wow.
He should declare it though.
Wow.
He will declare it.
And you don't find it interesting that for a country that is recovering economically, declaring a state of emergency have some consequences and repercussions. Wow. So that has to be looked at or considered.
This is where they say, if you be easy, do one.
All right, so we'll just leave the rest to the audience. Let us know what you think. What do you make of the president's media encounter? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it... Well, let us know in the comment section. And whilst you're doing that, recommend us to a brother, a friend. Until we come your way next time, make sure you're a great citizen. We are.